It's a blessing to welcome on one of the top players in the entire country. He's constantly rising up the rankings, the first and the only tech commit so far. Jaylon Tyson, how you doing, man?
What's up? How are you?
Pretty good. Well, since the last time we talked, it was right after you commit, and you've made a couple moves now. You guys are having a big time season so far, but just take us through how excited you are and how much more excited you're getting to be able to get out there to Texas Tech.
Every day that goes by, I'm more and more excited to be there.
Absolutely. Now, this has been a long process. You made your decision now. It's starting to settle in, though, but let's go back to that real decision. Texas Tech's where you're going to go, going with Coach Beard and his system. Why is that the school you chose?
It was a lot of factors that factored into it. One, I liked how their offense. I feel like I could fit in their offense. Everybody around here says I fit perfect in their offense, and also how they recruited me. I feel like they recruited me more as like a family than as like a just a recruiter, just a regular recruiter. So they treat me like family in the recruiting process, and of course they got the best strength coach in Big 12 probably. All of that took a factor into, of course, Coach Mal, Coach Beard recruited me. Uh, I feel like I built a good enough relationship. They were the first one to be there for me. They didn't worry about the rankings or if anybody else was gonna offer me. They went ahead and offered me off the start.
You mentioned the fit, and that's really what I want to touch up on a little bit because we hear guard you for some schools, we hear big man schools for some of them. It's not really a position that Coach Beard makes. He just creates these guys that are maybe bigger guards, the 2, 3, 4, and he kind of just runs a 3, 4 out to a degree. We see a guy like Micah Peavy at the next level NBA probably run more of a 2 or 3, but they run him at a 4 sometimes. They just kind of really change that. It's not really a certain position, just he uses guys at your height, your skill set, and brings them to the next level. Take us through that and how appealing that offense and that system is for you.
I'd love positionless basketball because I feel like I could play. In high school, I could play 1 through 5. In college, I probably play. It depends 1 through 4. It depends what kind of offense you're running, but I feel like I run 1 through 4 ish part. So I just love being able to. So I can. That's more opportunities for me to be on the court, of course. I feel like whatever he wants me to be at, I could play. Whether that's 1, 2, 3, 4, I will adjust eventually. I just like positionless basketball because that's how we play at JP2. It's just get a rebound, let's go, and let's get a bucket type. That's what I like most about it.
Coach Beard hasn't been there for a super long time, but we have seen more and more guys each year make that jump to the NBA level. We've seen guys like Jarrett Culver go out there to the NBA. We've seen now guys like Jahmi'us Ramsey do his thing. He's out in the NBA now. This upcoming year, we'll see who else is going to be there for the next jump. But you just see this NBA translation. So many guys are making it to the NBA, and Culver's panning out well too. How appealing was that for you?
That appealed to me probably the most for real because they like to they put a lot of big guards. They love big guards and they're trying to push big guards like you see TJ Shannon, Micah, I even say Kyler. Kyler could play 1, 2, 3. So dudes like that.
And overall, a lot of these guys have that hometown pride, and you're following those footsteps too. So, what's that feeling going to be like? What's it going to be like representing the hometown?
Oh, it's gonna be great. Every time I come back and probably put like TCU, all my close friends and family out here will come watch me play. Uh, I really they love Texas people. To say that they said they love Texas people for some reason. They love Texas people, so I just can't wait to get down there and put on for the city, for Lubbock and Dallas.
When you were going through your process, how important was staying home or being that hometown hero to you?
That didn't really affect my decision. I just wanted to go hoop, to be honest with you, and Texas Tech was just a fit. Happened to be a fit of me.
As I mentioned, we'll see. We still have some time to see who might go to the next level. A lot of guys are playing and have the shot at it. Mac McClung, someone that might have a shot at that. Kyler, a couple other guys have a chance at playing at the next level right now. But we know some guy like Micah will most likely be there next year. Namar Burnett, Chibuzo, some of those guys. How excited you play with them, and how's your relationship staying with those guys?
Uh, our relationship is like iffy. We'll text every once in a while, but I just can't wait. Once we get down there, of course, our relationship will be better. I can't wait to play with Namar. Is starting to play better. Micah started off real good. I just can't wait to get down there and build a relationship and maybe bring home a natty to Lubbock.
And we do know with the rule, some guys could stay here into the seniors. We'll see how that affects Texas Tech and other schools. But For you personally, where do you see yourself playing next year? What kind of role? Do you see it being a starter from day one, working your ways towards that, coming off the bench? Where are you kind of seeing yourself pan out next year?
I really don't pay too much attention on that. I just pay attention to me going in the right size, the right mentality, stuff like that. So I don't really. That's the coach's decision. That's not my decision. I'm just gonna go in there with the right tools to be able to be able to present to him to put me in the right position.
Watching in high school, we do know at the end of the day, you're a bucket getter. You can get that. You're pretty much all around this. You're pretty much like some people say, old school ball. You can play all positions, do all things on the court. When you go out to Texas Tech, whatever that role is for you, what will you be able to bring to the program your freshman year?
I bring energy. I bring a lot of energy to our practices even now. I just love to talk. To be honest with you, I just love to I just love I just love noise. Like I just love keeping it up, and I love to compete. I love like when we're doing 5-on-5s. Like I'm gonna guard you, and I'm gonna make sure you try to make it where you don't score. Like I just love to do that, and that's how I was just born. I was born that way. I just love to compete, and I just love to get at it. And I love to play the game basketball. I play 5-on-5 all day, every day. So that's one thing that I'll bring to the table. Also the scoring ability, but also I'm also working on my defense. So in high school, I try to guard the best player on the court, try to work on that. So really, I'm just gonna bring our all around game. Whatever Coach Beard needs me to do, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna excel at it. I feel like.
Your ultimate goal clearly is the NBA. We kind of discussed that a little bit, but you knowing your own self, your own personal game, you know when you want to go to the NBA, but when do you kind of feel like you might be ready? What are some things you want to put into your game, add into it to really kind of give you the confidence to know that you're ready for that next level?
Really just keep improving on my jump shot. Of course, my handle needs to get way tighter. Defense needs to get better, but just really just stuff about me, little stuff. The little stuff makes a big difference in the game of basketball. So I just feel like the little stuff is affecting me right now. So like being able to play with leverage, that's what I've been working on so much, playing with leverage. Of course, I'm working on getting more flexible, more bigger, stuff like that.
Another huge attraction is the fans. We know this year is not much because of COVID. Hopefully, by the time you get out there, COVID protocols will be gone. Fans will be back in the stadium. And you mentioned that competitiveness, that drive you have. Fans always will feel that up, especially college atmosphere. How excited to be able to play in front of those fans?
Oh, I can't wait. When I went there for my visit, I felt like I was in the game. Like it was just so live. Like you look everywhere, it's packed. I just can't. I pray that COVID goes away, and I get to play in front of all those fans.
As you mentioned, you did get the opportunity to go on a visit. A lot of guys didn't get the opportunity. How much did that influence your recruitment, knowing that you kind of got to see the atmosphere, you saw the fans, you got to see all that, and all the kind of campus, you got to see the whole aspect?
It made another huge part of my decision. Being able to just be around there, talk to some of the fans. They were showing mad love when I went there. Just stuff like that. The little stuff affects me the most. So like, just like a fan coming up to you, hey Jaylon, how you doing? Stuff like that. Can't wait to see you next year. Stuff like that. Stuff made a big difference to my in my decision.
You were in that earlier bunch we saw because of COVID. A lot of the top ranked guys come in a little bit earlier because they knew the visits probably weren't going to open up on time. But let's say you decide to hold off and you were able to go get more schools, and we know the way you've been playing, a lot more were to come in. Do you think if COVID wasn't a factor that could have altered your decision at all?
Really no. I was I I tell a lot of people this when I went on my first visit. I knew this was a school. Like I liked a lot of other schools, but Texas Tech just stood out to me the most. So it wouldn't have made a difference in my decision.
Coach Beer, as I said, hasn't been there for a very long time, but he's clearly already created a legacy for himself. And he's one of the few schools that's even been able to compete against Kansas. We know they kind of had that stronghold over the Big 12. But what's he like off the court? Just that personal connection, that relationship with him. What's Coach Beard like off the court?
He's a relationship guy, so he builds relationships with us. He's gonna talk to you. He talks to us more as like a kind of like a father figure. Like he goes away. He's still our coach at the end of the day, but he goes away and just tries to build that relationship with us. So he'll ask us, will we like just ask us questions to that most coaches don't want to don't ask their players. So like he cares about his players. You could tell.
It clearly takes some time to build up that relationship and have trust between each other. When would you say you guys finally like really clicked and really started having that comfortable relationship with him?
Probably when COVID started hitting, we started talking a lot. That's probably when I went on a virtual visit, and just I don't know, it just clicked when we started talking more and more.
And as I mentioned, I mean, rankings doesn't matter too much, but currently you're constantly moving up. Each ranking, you're moving up more and more. We know now you're the borderline 5-star, and some people's opinions, a lot of people even say you are a 5-star now. When you look at your game, how has it transformed over the past few months?
I've definitely gotten better in all aspects of my game. My range has gotten better. My handle's gotten way better. My defense gotten better. My IQ's gotten better. I feel like I've worked on everything. I've gotten way bigger. So I feel like everything in my game has changed. Like I'm a different person than what I was this summer.
Another aspect I want to touch up on between Texas Tech is that you are the first only commit so far. Or is looking at anybody else? If so, who are some of those guys that you'd possibly like to add on with you?
I don't think we're recruiting any more 2021s, but I have a couple 2022s out there that we're looking for. Because of COVID, most people could stay, so there's really not too many open scholarships right now.
In terms of 2022, you are that hometown Texas guy. You have relations with a lot of guys. Who are some guys that you personally would love to have with you out there for your sophomore season?
Well, we played them Saturday, so I don't want to hype them up too much, but we want Keontae George, of course. Cason Wallace, Rylan Griffin, Nick Smith. He just released his top 10. Milos Uzan, some guys like that. I'm trying them to push Big Cam. He goes to our school. I'm trying to push him to eventually go to Texas Tech when we start looking at him.
Now let's kind of discuss overall as your recruiting pitch, because I said you will have that kind of recruiting role. You're the hometown guy. If you're talking to these guys and it comes down to Texas Tech and who else is in that final mix for that player, what's your pitch to them? Why is Texas Tech and Coach Beard the place for them?
Oh, because he's a player's coach. He's gonna push you to your max, past your max. Actually, he's gonna push you to his max, and Coach Riley, the strength coach, is gonna push you to his max. So you're gonna come out of Texas Tech knowing that if you put up in 100% effort, you're gonna come out a different player, and he will put you in the league if that's what God's plan is.
Now, as I mentioned, the Big 12, we know who the team out there that's kind of dominated now for 15 or so years in KU. I said Texas Tech has had some great runs. They even made it further in the tournament a couple of times now. This year, we'll see Baylor's looking good, Texas looking good. But when you get out there, we know clearly that every year the dominant team is KU. How excited for you that matchup?
Oh, I can't wait. I want to play against the best of the best. Just like in high school, I want to play against the best of the best. That's my favorite thing to do, to prove them that they're not the best of the best. If that makes sense. I feel like I'll be the difference maker in beating Kansas and Baylor's. Just because I'm not scared to hit that last shot if I have to.
That's a confidence not a lot of guys have. I mentioned you are an elite scorer, and that's typically what you have to have, that confidence to be elite scorer like you are. But when did you get that confidence, and who kind of gave it to you, take over a game or even hit a game-winning shot?
Really, it came to me kind of naturally. Like, I mean, working out, I work out a lot. So I feel like all my work that I put in just gives me I know I'm going to hit it because I put so many reps into my jump shot, to everything I do. So I feel like it's just another shot, for real, for real.
When I talked about KU a second ago, but is that the team you're most excited to play, or is there another team you're more excited than KU to play in the Big 12?
In the Big 12, probably Kansas or Baylor. But overall, college basketball, we got to play Texas A&M. Man, we have to. We have to.
I have a feeling I know why. Your teammates with the top recruit out there. Is that the main reason to go against Manny?
Yeah, me and him talk trash all day, every day.
You guys get in that game. How special would that be? What's the energy like? Take us through what that atmosphere would be like between you two.
Oh, we're gonna go at each other because we've been knowing each other since we was little. We always compete. Even in practice, we compete. We guard each other all day, And I mean, we're gonna compete. We're definitely, but Texas Tech's gonna come on top. That's what's gonna happen.
Let's get into this season. Off to a very hot start. You guys already did your thing last year, 40-1 state champions. You guys added in one of the best point guards and players in the entire country, and Manny Obaseki. How big has that been for you guys?
It's been huge. He's been a huge part of our success. I mean, we lost the twins, Nate. We lost basically a whole starting five besides me last year. So he's a big add on to our team. He makes winning plays for real. Makes winning plays.
40-1 state champions, it's hard to come across and beat. But with Manny now, you two are both two of the best players, both 5 stars in my opinion. How much special are you guys than last year's team? Are you guys equal? Kind of compare the two teams.
We're two different teams for real. I mean, the one thing that's similar between us, we both teams get up and down. Last year's team, we were different because we had experienced a loss the year before in the Final Four of the TAPS thing. So we kind of went in the mentality different. Now this year's mentality is we got to win it. We want to win another one because Manny hasn't won one yet, so he wants to win one. And I want my brother to get one too. So that's what our mentality is: just get another ring. So everybody on the team contributes to a ring.
Manny does take up his fair share of shots, and that sometimes is hard for two top guys to go from maybe being the number one guy, shooting majority of shots, to kind of splitting that role. How have you guys got used to that role and kind of accepted each other taking more shots than the other?
Really, we don't really care about taking shots. We just make plays that's going to win us the ball game. So if we got to take 10 to 15 shots a game, that's what we got to do in order to win. But we don't really, like, if I take 5 shots, he takes 20, it don't matter. If I take 20, he takes 5 shots, he don't care. I mean, taking shots don't mean nothing to us. Getting 30 points a game doesn't mean nothing to us. Winning, that's all we care about.
I think a big relief for guys is that you guys are both committed. How much more of a kind of relief has it been not worrying about committing and recruiting process throughout this entire season?
It's definitely been good. It was a hard recruiting process because it was different COVID times, of course. But really, right now, I'm just trying to help all my other brothers on the basketball team get offers, and because I feel like everybody on JP2 basketball team should get an offer if they want to play college basketball. So just really trying to help them out now.
You, Manny, both set up, locked in, signed. Who else, though? Who else do you think that can step up now and kind of replace you guys next year?
We have a couple of guys. We have Big Cam. He's starting to blow up a lot. We have a freshman. We have a sophomore. He's going to be a junior. So we have a couple pieces, and we got a couple pieces coming in. So I feel like they're going to continue the JP2 rise.
I have to ask you about one thing. Each one of you guys' videos and pictures feature something different than typical videos or pictures feature, and that's that you guys are wearing masks each game, wearing those. What's that like?
It was definitely an adjustment for sure, but I feel like it's helping us. Obviously, I mean, knock on wood, we haven't had COVID yet, so obviously it's helping us, and we're continuing to play our high school season. I mean, if they tell us we got to play, we got to wear a mask in order to play. That's what we got to do. So we just adjusted to it. I mean, like I said, I really think it's a positive because it gets us even more in shape. Because I want to go into school in tip-top shape, so I'm not going there dying for the first month or something like that. Mm-hmm. So I really think of this as a positive.
The first day coach or the school told you guys you had to wear masks. What was your first initial reaction?
It was kind of weird. I was like, "What? What's the point of wearing a mask in a basketball game?" But then once I understood the benefits of it, I mean, the benefits are we staying safe. I mean, we're not breathing on each other. I mean, it was kind of like I said, an adjustment, but I mean, eventually we probably 2 weeks into it, we just adjusted to it, and it felt normal for real.
This isn't an easy schedule. You mentioned you guys play a big-time player in school on Saturday. You guys constantly just adding in big-time teams throughout the course of the year because you guys are in Texas, which is, in my opinion, is one of the top 3 states, if not the best state in the country. What's like competing out there?
Oh, it's lovely. Every team you run into, there's gonna be a dog. Everybody out here plays defense. That's what I love about it. Like, I look at some people's mixtapes and them kids, like some top ranked people playing some kids, and they don't play defense at all. Out here, They don't care who you are. They're gonna try to lock you up. Of course, they're not scared of nobody. So out here, it's really competitive. So when I go to college, it's gonna be different, but it's not gonna be like, oh my god, Tap's basketball. Everybody says the worst thing, but I feel like Tap's basketball would kill most conferences anywhere else.
That's something I noticed about Texas because a lot of you guys might not be these social media famous guys we see from California or other states. There are some guys that have a high profile, but a lot of you guys are talented players we see in rankings. But at the end of the day, you guys go out there and do your thing. So what does it mean to you to be a Texas player? What comes with that? What kind of pride? What does it mean to be a Texas player?
It means a lot. I mean, we're dogs, for. That's all. That's all it means. That's all they need to know. When you come to Texas, you're gonna get our best game. Like that's how I really blew up. Like just going at the best in Texas. I mean, I feel like Texas basketball is the best basketball anywhere for real. So really, he's gonna get the best of us every single time, and we're not going. It's just all effort, and we're just dogs. Let's just sum it up to that. We're dogs.
A couple other parts about your game I want to touch up on. One is your shot. It's obviously money. You make them all the time, but it might not be the most traditional looking shot. Take us through that shot and how comfortable you felt in and how confident you are in your shot.
I feel like I make every single shot I take. I've worked on it since I was in seventh grade. I had a shooting coach, and my dad made little adjustments to it, and I just want to keep getting better and better at it, making my range better, changing up little tiny mechanics, and keep it going from there.
Another thing about you is you might watch you play in person and you warming up or something. Some might say, okay, he's going to be one of the more athletic guys on the court. He's super athletic. Then you come on in the game and you're dunking on people. You're throwing down all kinds of dunks. Take us to this athleticism and how you really developed it and grown into that.
Really just staying in the weight room. That was one of my main goals of the summer, staying in the weight room. Stuff like that, getting my legs stronger, going to the track. A lot of my strength coach, he really worked on that a lot. Worked on like Vertimax work, sand work, a lot of that, just stuff like that. I really feel like my athleticism has gotten way better since last year.
Without a doubt. A few more things before I let you go. We discussed Texas, and I know there's a lot of talent out there. If you could put together a roster, an 8, 9, 10-man roster, who's on that roster from Texas?
Okay, me, Manny. Any class?
Yeah.
Ooh, me, Manny. I put Wade, Harrison. That's 4. Keontae, Cason Wallace, CJ Nolan. Okay, for big man, I'll probably put Chris, Damian, and yeah, I think I said them all. Yeah.
Sure. You take that roster, you can compete them against any other state's top 8, 9 players. How you guys going to do?
No, we're killing everybody.
Absolutely, man. Well, one thing I was like wrapping up with is discussing your legacy, and I think that's something all guys want to do. So when you step away from basketball someday, what do you ultimately want to remember for? What do you want your legacy to be for what you achieve both on and off the court?
I want to be known for my work ethic. I want to be the best, hardest working dude on the court at all times. And also, when I'm done with basketball, I want to give back to the game. One of my goals is opening up my own facility and giving the platform to other players that don't get to get everything some players get. So
That's awesome. And I know you're also a believer, so kind of take us through your faith a little bit. How has God helped get you to the point you're at today?
he got me to. I wouldn't be at the point that I'm at without him, for real. When I was down, when I was up, I always prayed to him just to keep me going and keep me motivated. It really, when it was in tough times and I wasn't playing as much and I wasn't ranked like I was, he just kept me up and kept me working harder and harder. And eventually he ranks me and puts me in positions to be successful. And I give all my glory to God. So if I'm going off in the game, that's all God. It's really all God. I'm just doing it. So I feel like my work ethic is a reflection. It's showing God that I really appreciate what He's done for me.
Amen, man. And I think a lot of guys that you're going to go to college now, you're going to have your career out there, hopefully playing in the NBA eventually. And with that comes a lot more attention, distractions too. How do you kind of plan to stay grounded and stay close to God and faith, even when all these distractions come to you?
Really, of course, I'm going to a party school, but I really just don't party. So one thing that I do to keep me away from all the bad stuff in the world is really just play basketball, live in the gym. I do a lot of recovery stuff and playing video games. I try to play a couple of video games while I'm recovering, just to keep me away from all the bad stuff.
Absolutely, man. My final thing for you, give Texas Tech fans your three biggest goals you have set for your Texas Tech career.
Be the best player to come out of Texas Tech, win a national championship, and be the hardest working dude to ever come through Texas Tech too.
Absolutely, man. Well, I definitely appreciate you taking time to come on today, and I can't wait to see what God's got next for you, man. Of
Thank you.
course, you're always welcome on, man. God bless.
You too.